Kasama, I'm here to speak on behalf of Anakbayan, DC, a group of young Filipinos in the DMV region organized in the Movement for National Democracy in the Philippines. Anakbayan is an international grassroots organization with chapters in the Philippines and across the diaspora, which seeks to mobilize and empower Filipino youth in a struggle which has lasted centuries. The struggle for the genuine liberation of the Filipino people. Under the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte, we have seen problems that the Filipino people have long faced intensified, become brutally visible. With the support and funding of the American empire, of the people serving it in the halls of Congress, Duterte has intensified the war on the Filipino masses. His so-called war on terror, his so-called war on drugs are directly borrowed from the racist playbooks of Bush and Nixon. They serve the same purpose: to jail and murder poor people, indigenous people, labor activists, and political dissidents in order to keep power in the hands of the oligarchs and officials and bureaucrats as they plunder Filipino land, Filipino water, and Filipino lives in service to their greed and in service to foreign empires. In the face of Duterte's power, the terror, people have been fighting back, standing up for their rights and the needs of their communities. But rather than responding to the people's concerns, the regime calls activists and mass organizations terrorists and communist rebels, an old fascist tactic known as red tagging. Just this month, the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, NTF-LCAC, accused Bayan USA of being a front for the banned Communist Party of the Philippines. These lies show the desperation of the Duterte regime to delegitimize the power of mass organizations and to distract people from the real terrorist group, the regime itself. Duterte recently proposed giving NTF-LCAC 28 billion more pesos for their propaganda war. But thanks to the power of the people, even the Filipino Senate cut the NTF-LCAC budget by 24 billion pesos. This is what we accomplish when we organize. Today, we mourn the more than 30,000 people murdered by Duterte's regime, and we call on anyone in Congress who's actually interested in freedom, actually interested in democracy, actually interested in justice or human dignity, to join us in this fight by advocating for the passage of the Philippine Human Rights Act. The Philippine Human Rights Act is a tiny step, a step which should be common sense. Pause US military support for the Filipino regime until it meets basic human rights standards. We call on the people in these halls of power and privilege, to pass this bill. Your inaction is complicity. And to our Filipino siblings, to our Filipino youth, to our Filipino elders, wherever you may hear this call, we call on you to join this struggle. Join Anakbayan, join Gabriela, join Migrante. We have power together. We're easy to find. Even if the Dutertes, the Marcoses somehow disappear into the shadows, the fight will continue until Filipinos have what's needed: safety, food, health, independence, and national democracy. Salamat.